Thursday, welcome on the show. My name is Wally Scott, Plus Sports and Plus TV Africa. And Mikhail, despite the dismal performance of the Super Eagles play and all that, the players were booed. The only person that was hailed was Victor Osimhen. The fans say Gernot Rohr should go. Let me go to the story first, and then I'll tell the viewer who my guest is today. Nigerian fans and former footballers have insisted that Super Eagles head coach Gernot Rohr must be sacked by the Nigeria Football Federation following the team's lackluster home draw against Cape Verde at the Testing Balogun Stadium in Lagos. It was a nervy moment across the country as the Eagles played a 1-1 draw to book a place in the final round of the Qatar 2022 World Cup. Former England striker of Nigerian descent, John Fashanu, said Rohr should have been sacked long before now. Atlanta 96 Olympic gold medalist Abiodun Obafemi added, "This is not the first time we have been saying this, and when I say we, I am referring to football-loving Nigerians. Rohr has not added anything to the Eagles since he took over." A football fan, Alex Ebodage, expressed his dismay at the poor performance of the Eagles against the Blue Sharks. Another fan, Deji Adelano, added, "I watched the game in a viewing center. We were all nervous towards the end because a goal from Cape Verde would have ruled us out of the World Cup." Lagos fans, known to voice out their frustrations after Eagles' poor outings, booed the players after the tie on Tuesday, but hailed Napoli striker Victor Osimhen, the scorer of the only goal, for his man-of-the-match display. 68-year-old said that Gernot Rohr said the three-time African champions needed to be quicker in their transition from defense. Super Eagles coach Gernot Rohr has admitted his team lacked pace in their final Group C fixture against Cape Verde. I've got ex-Super Eagles player Sam Sodje is also the essay to the Delta State government on sports. Sam, good morning. Hello, Sam, good morning. Okay, I think we'll have Sam. Okay, we'll try him again on the phone, but he was there a few minutes ago. Now, John Fashanu has said that, listen, he has nothing to say except for the fact that he should go. Another player who was in the Atlanta 96 set said, listen, we have been saying this, and he says, I'm talking about football fans, not ex-players now. This guy needs to go. He's added nothing to the Super Eagles.
You know, Albert Einstein said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. We've tried the Gernot Rohr way. We've done it for 5 years, going on 6. It's time for a change. When there's less success under a specific manager, then there is actual success and growth. We can't even say in the direction that, okay, sure, maybe we haven't won as many trophies, we haven't won as many big matches as we think or we should be winning. The development of football, where has it reached in Nigeria? At youth level, at academy level, at the senior team level? What's the development? Are our players more technically proficient? No. Are they more tactically sound? No. So what is he still doing in the national team? At this point, I know we're this close to the World Cup, but the playoff starts in March next year.
Most Nigerians are saying Nigeria cannot make it with any team in the playoffs right now. We're talking of Tunisia, Egypt, Morocco, Ghana, Cameroon. Those guys want to win.
I realize that if this was club football, if a new manager comes in at this late stage, he can instill in his players a lot of quick understanding of his tactics. Between now and March next year, he can teach them a whole catalog of everything he has ever learned.
Okay, now I've got Sam on the show now. Sam Sodje, welcome on the show.
Thank you for having me, Wally. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Not bad, not bad.
Now, the fans across the nation are saying Gernot Rohr should go. Rohr go. And John Fashanu spoke to some reporters, and another player who was in the Atlanta 96 squad.
Can you hear me?
John Fashanu spoke to reporters.
Okay.
And another player who was in the Atlanta 96 set, Abiodun, spoke, and they all said the same thing. Gernot Rohr should go. He's got fantastic players. He just can't work with them. Technically, he is not sound. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they're spot on. You know, no disrespect to Gernot Rohr. Let's not sound like every other country that when a team doesn't do well, they say sack the coach. But 100%, watching the Gernot Rohr, he has no clue. I think he's done well recruiting players, and he has taken us as far as he could. I don't think he's technically sound. I don't care what anyone says. He's really, really below the expectation.
Now, Gernot Rohr reminds you of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You have so many good players in the Manchester United squad, but he's just not using them well. Now, the problem we have is you can't have players like Wilfred Ndidi, Kelechi Iheanacho, Victor Osimhen, Onuachu, Awoniyi, all those players, and you can't know how to put them together to make a bond since 2016. What were our NFF and the managers of football in Nigeria looking at all this while since 2016? Hello, Sam, can you hear me? I think I lost Sam again. We'll try and get him again on the phone. But my question to Sam would be, since 2016, what is our darling, never listening Amaju Pinnick looking at? And what are the technical directors? I'll come to that later. We have a technical director of the NFF. We've got Amaju Pinnick, who is the president. And since 2016, they didn't say that obviously Rohr couldn't make it happen.
Rohr falls way below the standard of typical German coaches that we're used to.
Much below.
Can
compare Rohr to a Klopp? Come on.
And unfortunately, it seems to me like a lot of people passed the buck. They hired a man for a job, and they decided, well, as long as he's in the position, he's the one who's going to face the questions. No. Because unfortunately, in this day and age, fans want instant results, and even managers who have a lot of support amongst the fan base who want to give him time. 5 years is a long time, even at international level, for you to have achieved so little. We understand that we're probably not asking him to go win the World Cup. We're not necessarily saying Nigeria must win the AFCON every single time it comes around, but at the very least, the Cape Verdes shouldn't be winning or drawing.
Okay, now, Sam, I know for one that the Super Eagles have a technical director. His name is Austin Eguavoin. We call him Cerezo. Now, I have never heard, not once, have I heard Eguavoin make a speech, a statement, ever about the Super Eagles. And he's the one who should go through the list, veto the list, talk to us about how they want to play, how they played out. What is wrong with these people? Eguavoin is comfortable having his job, not doing his job as a technical director of the Super Eagles. These people are not just doing their jobs. Sam.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, I was very upset with Amaju and Gernot Rohr. But after the last game, I'm upset with Yobo, Eguavoin, and Demlo, because I would not be on that bench and let what happened. How can you have a top center defender who plays for one of the big teams in Europe, Rangers, committing?
I think it's gone off a game. I was talking about
and that's happening. I'm talking about Balogu. So just that one. Then we had a free kick, outside the box, and Moses just went there and just crossed the ball in, hoping someone else the ball. We have no clue of what we're doing. I played the game for 20 years. There's no way any manager won't tell you exactly what he wants to do, and that's why I'm not just upset.
Okay, I think for some network reasons, I don't know. But if we have Sam Sodje back, why not? But he says he's disappointed in a whole lot of his fellow colleagues in the team. And of course, looking at players like Leon Balogun. The whole thing, all in all, he agrees with John Fashanu and the Abionu guy who they say, Rohr should just go.
Yes, I mean, at this point, 5 years into a job that you're not particularly improving at, you're not improving your charges, what's the point? And if this was the CEO of any company, the company is not posting better results than they were before you came in, why are you still here?
I don't know. Well, on the show on Plus Sports, well, we leave it open. Quickly, Sam, I'll ask you one last question. Obviously, the network is coming and going. The last question will be, if you were to be put in a place to say, okay, good, Gernot Rohr should go, who would you suggest? I'm not saying names now. What kind of coach would you suggest the Super Eagles need a few months to the African Nations Cup in January? Hello, Sam. Hello, Sam.
Are you talking about?
If you were put in a place where you would get a coach for the Super Eagles, I'm not saying call names now. What kind of coach would you put in place for the Super Eagles? What kind of person would you put?
I'm sorry, the line wasn't clear. Sorry, I can't hear you properly.
Can I? Okay. If you were to be put in place to get a coach for the Super Eagles, I'm not saying call names now. What kind of person or what kind of coach would you put in place for them now before January Nations Cup?
No, it's going to be hard. I think we might have to stick with Gernot Rohr, but he needs help. He needs help because at the same time, it's simple. You can't have these players and not be able to coach them or give them the tactics to work. I'm a very good example. When we come and play for Nigeria, we don't get coached or we don't get told what to do, and we have the people there now that can do it. So maybe it's too late to get a new coach in now, but definitely when we go to the tournament, we need a new coach.
Sam Sodje, I want to thank you very much for joining us this morning. Thank you. Thank you. Now, Sam says, well, yes, Gernot Rohr should go, but it can't be a right now thing.
Yes.
We have to leave him to go on until.
Unfortunately, stability matters more than change and evolution right now. For the Nations Cup, once that is done, it needs to be revisited.
Manchester United's first quarter loss, narrowed as the end of COVID-19 curbs in England, allow fans to return to its Old Trafford Stadium at full capacity. Now, offsetting a rise in salaries since the return of Cristiano Ronaldo in August. Now, Manchester United's revenues rose in the first quarter due to fans returning to their Old Trafford Stadium. That's according to the English Soccer Club. Now, Mukail, while the coaches on the field of play in Man U are not thinking, the marketers are thinking. You know, instead of losing revenues, they're only losing matches. They're not losing revenue. They bring in Ronaldo, that brings in massive shirt sales and all that. They bring in Rafael Varane, Jadon Sancho. So the marketing guys are thinking they're making money all the way. Yeah, they're only losing matches.
You know, on some level, the return of Ronaldo was a marketing decision.
Yes, much more than a technical decision, yeah.
Yes, definitely. And even though he has done very well, he's having a good season thus far. Ultimately, Man United have always had the mechanism to make money, the engine room to drive their marketing image for a long time has been prosperous, even if they haven't won the Premier League in so many years, not since Alex Ferguson left. And if they're going to do better than they're doing right now, we know what needs to change. We know the manager needs to go.
Yeah.
But
it's like Gernot Rohr needs to go.
Yes, but as for the ability to make money, to make revenue, they're doing everything right.
Wow. Steph Curry scored a tied season-best 37 points as he inspired a 117-99 victory over the Brooklyn Nets in New York. It was a fine performance from the 33-year-old, one that included 9 three-pointers, joining Ray Allen as only the second player to reach 2,900 career maximums. It moves the Warriors to 12-2 as the terrific start to the NBA campaign continues, while the Nets go 10-5. Steph Curry, quickly we have to run through that, but Steph Curry, somebody has to stop him.
Well, I don't know if anybody can. The fact is the Golden State Warriors have started the season very, very well.
But I'm scared. I'm scared that when a particular player is the only one in the jungle making it happen like that, what if an injury comes to play? Immediately Steph Curry gets injured, that team has problems.
Yes, that's always the risk of building a team around one player. But the fact is this team do have a lot of shooters.
True.
Not as well, not as good.
And they run at you.
Yes, they're not as good as Steph Curry, but I feel like the coaching is very good because their transition is so quick. They can still rely on that transition play, even if Steph Curry goes out for a couple months. So for any team that thinks they have a shot at the title this season, Golden State Warriors are going to be ones that they have to deal with.
A very emotional morning for me this morning, and when you watch this clip, you will know why. Now, Spain's Garbine Muguruza claimed her first WTA Finals title yesterday, defeating Estonian Annette Kontaveit 6-3, 7-5 in Guadalajara, Mexico. It was Muguruza's fourth appearance at the season-ending finals and her first in the championship match. Her win gave Spain its first ever WTA Finals title and will see her end the year as the world number 3 when the rankings are updated. on Monday. Now, she won in Chicago last month and defeated Czech Barbara Krejcikova in March's Dubai final for her biggest title since picking up her second major title at Wimbledon in 2017. This makes my day. Muguruza. Finally, she makes it happen. This is a dream come true. She's been in this more than 4 or 5 times. She hasn't been able to get to the finals. Now, and you saw her family and her mom, the coaches. You saw the emotion. Finally, she gets it done.
There's nothing like the first time. You never forget your first time.
Yeah.
I think...
Yeah, that sounds funny though.
I think the fact is that sometimes you have to build the endurance to be worthy.
Don't stop. You know, just continue doing it.
You have to build it to be worthy of the finals. And by the time you get there, it feels like for some players, they get there one time, one shot, and they win it because they've had so many near misses. For other players, they get to the finals several different times before they can win it. But some, they get the first time, they win it. But in order to get to that point where you're worthy of the finals, worthy of the trophy.
Okay, now producer Toby Olushola insists that we must talk about this.
Yes.
He insists. Toby insists this one. Now, the head of the Women's Tennis Association on Wednesday voiced concern over an email he received, which was also released by a Chinese state media outlet, in which tennis player Peng Shuai was said to deny her previous allegations of sexual assault. Peng, one of China's biggest sports stars, said on social media earlier this month that former Chinese Vice Premier Zhang Gaoli coerced her into sex and that they later had an on and off consensual relationship. Her post was deleted roughly a half hour later, and she had not been seen publicly or made a statement since then, alarming the global tennis community. Now on Twitter, Chinese star-affiliated media outlet CGTN released what it said was an email Peng had sent to WTA chairman Steve Simon, who is also its CEO, in which she said the allegation of assault was untrue. Now Peng comes and says, listen, the vice premier in China was coercing her into sex, basically forcing her. After a while, she was forced to agree. She now calls it consensual. And then she comes again and says, listen, it's a lie. I didn't write that mail. It wasn't me. And now she's disappeared. And the WTA is scared. Where is this woman?
Well, first of all, let's backtrack on the timeline. She said what she said, made the accusation. Unfortunately, because of the restrictive nature of China, that allegation hasn't gone to court. It hasn't been actually adjudicated over. She says she had no proof anyway, but at the very least, she has the freedom to speak what she said. Then she disappears. And from public view, we haven't seen or heard from her. And
that's scary. Because we know, with due respect to Asian countries, we know how things work there.
Yes.
This guy was or is a vice premier.
It happens in the Middle East. It happens in China. It happens in North Korea. Anyone who speaks up against any regime
disappears.
That acts as an authoritarian one, oftentimes disappear, and then we come back to hear of them recanting a statement they made in the past. Meanwhile, they aren't available for interview. They send it through some vague medium, an email. And no follow-up questions can be asked. Why did you say one thing before and now are saying something different? Obviously, we know she's in the hands of certain people. We won't say who.
Hopefully she's safe.
But
hopefully Peng is safe. I'm going to leave you with Novak Djokovic, who sealed a spot in the Final Four of the Naito ATP Finals yesterday with straight set victory over Andrei Rublev, winning 6-3, 6-2. Having been level at 3-3 in the first set, Djokovic went on to dispatch his opponents in ruthless fashion in the pair's first ATP head-to-head. Plus Sports and Plus TV Africa join us same time tomorrow, same station, okay? My name is Wally Scott Mukail, thank you. Produced by Toby Olushola. And I know respect is earned, it's not forced. Mayowa is insisting I tell him thank you.
why?
Is it? I don't know.
I beg.
It's just insistent. Join us same time tomorrow. My name is Wally Scott. Like I always advise you at the end of every show, if not for anything, at least for your hearts, do some sports.